Thanks for joining us today to discuss life and godliness with Rick and Angela Carter. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, email us at cartersforhope@gmail.com. That's Carters, the number 4, hope@gmail.com. Any questions you have, we'll discuss in future episodes. Right now, sit back and let's join in on the conversation. Hey, everybody.
Hey!
We are back from Nicaragua.
Finally.
And we had a great time.
Yes, we did.
Great
It was very
trip.
good. Not what I expected.
Definitely not what we expected in a very good way.
In a very good way.
Not that we expected necessarily bad things, but we did expect it to be
narco-terrorist
that
stuff.
was her expectation, actually. More third world, and I would think out away from the capital, it is more and more that way.
I would assume.
But where we were, it was very nice. Even the roads were very nice, which was very shocking because we've been where they're not as nice.
Yeah.
But we had a great conference with the pastors there. Did training for 20 pastors in the Bible college.
Yes.
Like 16 of them were already pastoring, and the rest of them were in training, in training. But the 16 were pastoring, but doing their Bible college training. And then we did
and pastoring up to like an hour away.
Yeah.
So
and then we did marriage retreat with 50 couples.
Yeah.
And that was great. And then
that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we did have a good time with that. And then we preached in 3 different churches, I think, on top of that. And then
3, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and one of the churches was a new church plant. We'll talk about that here in a minute because it kind of fits into
with our
what
topic.
our topic is. So, but the week was great. The Burdines were great hosts, and we really enjoyed our time with them and just getting to know them. So So our topic today, the title is "What in the World," and this is a topic that has been on our list for a while,
for a long time.
Just waiting for the right time. And we were thinking, I don't know when we'll do this, because this is going to be one of those informative and fun conversations, not as much counseling topic as we normally talk about.
Just a fun one.
It'll be informative and fun. So this is the life portion of Life and Godliness. And we like to mix it up every once in a while and talk about something just more fun for us on that topic.
Talk about heavy stuff all the time.
Yeah. And coming back from there right now, it was part of the conversation, actually, while we were there.
Yes.
Is this third world? And sometimes people will talk about third world, first world, and like, what is second world? What is second world? What is first world?
We had that question because you never hear of second world.
So we looked it up. This was a while back. And so here's the classical definition. That's all terminology actually from the Cold War. So during the Cold War, they referred to any allies of the West, the U.S., as first world, right? And then the allies of the Soviet Union were second world, and then the unaffiliated countries were third world.
Right.
Okay. So most of Central America, even South America, was considered basically third world because they were not part of the Cold War, essentially. But generally, they were not part of the Cold War because they were so undeveloped that they couldn't
be
militarily a part of anything.
Yeah.
So their economies were small. They weren't very developed and so forth. I think, though, for us, we thought third world just meant undeveloped, and second world was kind of a little more developed, midway, and then first world was the U.S., Western Europe.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of what we thought versus when we looked it up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that.
Things up will change your thoughts about things.
I wasn't expecting that. It was
we both
shocking.
went, what?
What in the world? So that being said, obviously we live in a first world country. When you travel to Western Europe, it's not at the same level as the U.S. I mean, it's not. England and Western Europe, it's nice. There's very nice things about it. There's a lot of nice things about it, but it is not the U.S. Like, not even close in many cases. So first world doesn't mean like everything like the US in that sense, because Western Europe is first world, right?
Mhm.
But Japan would be first world, and there's some Asian countries, and then there's third world would technically be Soviet bloc countries and affiliated countries. China, the Soviet Union, that's all second world. But even North Korea would be considered technically second world, I guess, by that standard. And it's very undeveloped for,
Right.
all that.
Yeah.
So, well, at least from what you can see from
See.
space, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you see
Yeah,
those
who's
pictures of
going
the
there?
lights?
Yes, no, I've
You know,
seen.
like South Korea's all lit up and North Korea's got like 2 lights on, That's the 2 Motel 6s that are in North Korea. Like they left the light on. Anyway, boy, there
Yes.
was an old commercial harken.
Yeah.
So when you travel though, the third world countries, you would have to say they're now historically third world, because the Cold War is technically over. It's not technically
Those terms aren't accurate any longer.
right. So when you look it up, it just says this is a Cold War term, da da da. So we're going to talk about, though, the difference in developing, undeveloping countries as
Mhm.
far as when you travel for mission trips and so forth, and even the difference between that and, say, Europe and Eastern Europe. We've been in second world countries because we've been in formerly second world countries, Czech Republic, Hungary. I think Croatia also was behind the Iron Curtain at one point there, part of Yugoslavia at the time. That would be countries we've been in that would technically have been second world. So how do you look at some of those different places? When we go to places like Nicaragua, we do have a certain expectation of these important factors, things that are pretty consistent in third world,
Yes.
historically third world countries.
Historically.
Third world countries. Okay, one, the roads are terrible.
The roads are bad.
And it's
2.
chaotic. Well, no, let's not leave that yet.
No, I'm talking about the roads.
Okay.
The type of vehicles that are on those roads.
Man, it's not. Well, let's just say there are no motor inspections, right?
No.
There's a lot of makeshift type things running down the road, kind of running down the road.
Motorcycles,
motorcycles with their wheels going.
Yeah. We
And
did see that.
They have like a lot of times in Nicaragua, in the Philippines, they have trikes, and that was something. There was a lot of similarities between Nicaragua and the Philippines.
Even like when we were flying in, like looking out of the airplane and looking at the rooftops.
Yeah,
I was like,
the type of roofing.
This looks like the Philippines. I'm gonna have so much fun.
Right. So there was those type of things, the trikes, and even there was one time when Sunday night the church, 2 churches came together for the service Sunday night.
Yes.
And we were walking into the service, and a truck is coming down the street.
Like a little S10 style truck.
with a little rack up around the bed.
Yes.
And it's literally stacked with people like a French fry container. I mean, they are just shoved in there.
Like literally look like a French fry container.
And they're just kind of like standing.
They're all just like.
And they were just piling out like a clown car almost. I mean, I don't mean to be like diminishing. It was awesome because those people drove like that, rode like that. 20 minutes. Well, the roads there weren't as bad in town. I was expecting, but the dips were bad. But it was interesting to see, and they were so happy to be there.
This far off the ground.
Yeah, that was loaded. Crazy. It was loaded. Yeah,
that was great. But there were, how many?
I don't know. I don't know how many were in the truck there. It was a bunch.
It was a bunch. I have a picture of because they brought this group to sing. They sang.
Yeah, they did a great job too.
I could count it up, but I didn't do it for this.
That was the type of vehicles, the type of roads in Managua. The roads were
nice.
Were more better
than
other places.
They were better,
but not outside of Managua. Like as you got,
and if you get into the smaller neighborhoods,
if you got into the smaller neighborhoods, the road actually going to the house got super narrow and rough, very rough.
Yes.
And that would be more typical as you get out into, areas of third world. We've been like in the Philippines going down the road while they're literally pouring it by hand hand pouring
Yes,
the road
concrete.
with concrete. They're mixing it in a wheelbarrow on the side and pouring the road in the same time where you're driving, and you're just driving right by them.
Yep.
And there's no cones necessarily or safety things or
No.
anything like that. So it's can be pretty rough to see like that.
That's super.
So the transportation is definitely a thing. We
Yes.
did see in Managua ox-drawn carts.
Yes.
People riding on carts like that were drawn by oxen. I don't think you're going to be able to show the pictures well, but anyway, so that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to try.
The transition and transportation is definitely
They're
distinct.
not concerned about seatbelt laws.
No. And a motorcycle can be a family vehicle.
Yes.
Like you will frequently see the kid sitting on the handlebars, dad driving, and mom and baby and maybe another kid between them, and just tooling down the road. So
It's interesting.
That's definitely not something we would see here at all or in Western Europe. So
that's the roads.
The transportation, that's a big thing.
Yes.
Okay. Second big thing, bathrooms.
Yes.
Bathrooms in third world countries are challenging.
So if you want to know how to travel, listen to our travel tips episode way back when.
Yeah.
Because this was on our travel tips.
It was.
Bring your own toilet paper.
And don't expect a toilet seat.
No. Practice the hover.
Yes. It's a very important maneuver. Anyway.
Work those thigh muscles.
So that is so strange to us, but they will literally, they'll say, oh, well, yeah, we don't have an American toilet. It's the same toilet. It just is missing the toilet seat. Somewhere there are lots of toilet seats that are just stacked in a warehouse marked third world that they just never picked up.
That they never got.
They just don't, it's not that important.
Why do you need that extra piece? It works just fine without it.
Right. So it's definitely...
Even in the airports.
It's a challenge.
Even in the airports. Matter of fact, when we got off the plane in Nicaragua, I had to go to the bathroom, and I went into the bathroom in the airport. The international airport.
Yeah.
No toilet seat.
Worst, but... for all that said, though, the worst bathroom I've ever been in for an American was in Japan.
Yeah, the hole in the floor.
It literally was a hole in the floor with, like...
Feet skids.
Yeah, you stood on there, and you were supposed to just squat.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't do that one. Nope.
I'm too American. I would not be... I'd be falling all over myself. Anyway.
It's not made to bend like that.
No. Crazy. Anyway, so at least
this is a bathroom episode.
At least with the hover method, that there's you don't have to go that far down.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, but the bathroom.
But many times they won't even have toilet paper.
That's right.
And many times they won't fill the tank to flush.
Or there'll be a big barrel or bucket filled with water and a ladle, and you just have to ladle the water in until it
flushes.
Does its thing, right? Yeah. So that's common in the third world. That's very common.
Very common.
Okay, next.
Lack of hot water.
That's true. It's often that in the third world, if they have hot water, it's because it was pumped to a big black tank on the roof, and the sun hits it, heats it. And so if you take a shower in the afternoon or evening, you can have hot water because it's coming out of that hot black tank.
Yes.
And short of that, they do not have hot water often.
So if you're a morning shower...
Now, where we were with the missionary, they had hot water.
Yeah.
But
it's not always the case.
Right. Very, very frequently.
When we were in Guyana, they did not have hot water. So you didn't want to take a shower first thing in the morning because the water felt cold. But if you took it in the evening after you've been hot and sweaty, the water felt really good. So
that's true. Even though it wasn't hot, it was lukewarm,
warmish,
which felt good after a hot day. So it's just a change.
You have to make those adjustments.
Yeah. All right.
And of course, you can't drink their
that was what I was going to say. The fourth thing was the water, because you don't drink the sink water. Now, the locals would, but they're used to it.
You wouldn't even want to really cook with it. You would have to boil it.
And you don't brush your teeth with it. Like, you don't rinse your mouth with it. You need a bottle of water. You need filtered water to be able to do that because your system is not geared for it.
No, you'll
You
get sick.
possibly get sick, get parasites or whatever.
What do they call that? Montezuma's Revenge or
Oh, yeah,
Travelers.
Traveler trots.
Yeah, Travelers.
Anyway.
No bueno.
So that's a big thing. But also then that means that when you eat with locals, and this is where it might catch you, right? And this is where it's caught us.
And it's where it's caught us numerous times.
Is that you will avoid the local water, but when they cook or clean, they use the local water. And so it's not always. Sometimes, and they'll tell you, like, for instance, the service that they cooked for us, and we had a meal with the pastor and some of the folks afterwards, and they told us specifically everything's been done with purified water. They wanted us to know, up front. But if they don't tell you that, you still eat.
Assume.
You just don't ask for conscience sake.
Yeah,
what Paul
you
said,
just
right?
automatically assume and take. Sometimes you can get your doctors to give you traveling medication ahead of time to take with you.
Some things that are good to take. You can take
activated charcoal.
I was going to say that.
I did take that while we were gone too.
Beano is good to take. Beano does an enzyme. It sounds like it's just for if you have gas, but it actually is a digestive enzymes that will help you while you travel. And then also when you're in the third world, it is very common for tableted ivermectin everywhere
to be able to purchase over the counter. You can
buy over the counter, and it's needful because it will likely be one of those things that you need to have
used to take care of parasites.
Yeah. They use it, and it's all over the place. Here in the U.S., somehow it was relegated to it's a horse medicine, but in the rest of the world, especially the third world, it is a legitimate necessity. They use it, and they'll tell you need to get ivermectin, and so that's something we take when we travel if needed. And if you're in the third world, it's often needed because there's just it is what it is.
Even though you try to be careful and you do those things, it happens.
So is there anything else third world that's kind of like stands out?
Electricity.
It can be sketchy.
It can just go away unannounced.
In the middle of the night, in the middle of the day.
So we were actually very blessed in Nicaragua. We did not lose power until the very last night. And we went to bed. They had air conditioning in the room for us. A lot of times you won't have that in a third world.
If there's air conditioning in the home, it's typically a mini split unit.
Yes.
Or a portable air conditioner that's ducted out.
Yes.
And they're good for a room. They're not a whole home type thing.
Right.
But they're good for a room. But it's not as common to have air conditioning.
No.
And that's not just third world. There's a lot of Europe that doesn't have air conditioning and is very much against air conditioning in the home. They think
it will make you sick.
That Italy is that way. There's a lot of Europe, Western Europe, that they just don't have. Now in the stores, they'll have air conditioning, but not in their homes.
Yeah. But so we went to bed with air conditioning. Very nice, very comfortable. And I don't know, we went to bed maybe around 10 o'clock. Well, at 12:30, I was awakened because I was sweating. So sometime between 10 and 12:30, the power went off.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, and it was dark in our room, which the little air conditioning machine had like a light, which was helpful for us because we weren't familiar with the place, so it helped us be able to navigate it. But so it was dark, so I'm like, oh no. Well, usually in the third world country, they have lots of windows because that's their cooling. Windows, wind. So I thought, I'll go open the windows. So I'm like,
fans.
Trying to. Well, the fans don't work.
We're saying that. A lot of times it's windows and fans.
Yes. So I went to open up the windows. So I opened up the windows and they snapped shut because it is windy. So you want the shutters to.
That was in Managua. It's windy.
Yeah, to snap shut or else it would bang the windows. And I didn't want to break them. And then I opened a side door to pull the air. But then he was like, no, open the big door. So I opened the big door and he goes, now open the one out there. I'm like, okay. So we did. I opened them all.
And then we fell asleep and then the wind started slamming.
Then it suctioned and pulled the door. Scared me half to death. My goodness. And
Yeah,
then
that
it
was
was crazy.
crazy.
And then I didn't
So I
think of,
blocked them all open.
I didn't think about this. I was just thinking, I need a breeze. It's hot in here. But then he was thinking, what I did think, I'm
Oh,
going to be eaten alive by
I didn't say anything
mosquitoes.
to her because it's the middle of the night, but I'm laying there thinking we're right at the jungle. There's stuff we've been seeing, the parrots and the birds and all that, but we've also been seeing, monkeys and all kinds of stuff. Who knows what else is out there,
I did not think about that.
there might have been panthers and pumas.
Pumas.
And
And
anyway,
the
so
crevices.
she fell asleep and I'm laying there thinking, what is going to come in? There's not even a screen on this window. What's going to come in from
No.
the jungle right there? And
All I
anyway,
thought was, I need to cover up with this sheet, at least because the mosquitoes love me.
there really weren't that many mosquitoes because of the wind.
Really? I've got like 12 bites on my legs.
12 with the open windows and everything. That's not that
Yeah.
much.
Anyway,
But
yeah.
nonetheless,
Third world
third world,
electric.
those are all things that are pretty common. One of the benefits of third world, if you're South America, Central America, Caribbean, South America, is most of the time the fruit. The fruit is
Aw.
incredible.
The fruit is amazing. And you know what? Where the Burdines are, they have
Oh my goodness.
avocados that are like,
They're bigger than that. They're way bigger than that.
they're bigger than
huge.
my hand.
Yeah.
I even took a picture. But then they have mangoes. Oh,
Yeah.
mangoes.
The pineapple
see
and
'em hanging on the
mangoes and the
tree.
coconut and all that, it's worth the inconvenience.
It is.
So there's no
Totally
question about
worth
that.
it.
Papaya, I mean, yeah, it's fantastic. So anyway, so that is something that's a positive
Yeah.
for sure. And the people are
They're very
so
nice.
friendly.
They're so kind.
I love people in those countries.
Yeah.
They're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy people overall.
Mhm.
They're personable, they're welcoming. I enjoy being in those places because the people are that way. Now the exception would be like Costa Rica, where they have so many
They were
tourists.
snooty.
They were snooty, and my opinion on Costa Rica is it's all the charm of the third world at 4 times the price. It's
And-
very expensive.
Yeah.
But other than there, the people everywhere we go are so friendly and so kind and just happy. They're just happy people. So we enjoy that. Okay, so second world now. Second world would have been the Soviet bloc countries, but we think of it more like we think of it more like mid-range developed.
Right. You think third world, very undeveloped.
Right.
First world, very overdeveloped. Second is somewhere in the middle.
So I know that this is going to sound a little bit strange to Americans and to some of the missionaries, but I don't see a big difference at all between Croatia, Czech Republic, Hungary,
Yeah.
Romania. We've
They're
been in
all very
Romania.
similar.
I don't see a big difference between them and Italy, France, and England.
No.
I'm talking about development wise.
No.
Did you see any difference between them?
No. Language, but
No, I'm talking about structurally.
No, they all pretty much were the same. Their houses are very similar.
Yeah.
Their road structures are similar.
But one
their
was considered
vehicles
first
are
world, one was
similar.
considered second world.
Yeah.
And so because we think of it second world as less developed, and maybe I would say this, during communism, during the Soviet Union's day, pre-mid 80s, 85 is when, is 85
I don't know.
somewhere in that range, when
The wall
the
fell.
wall fell, when it started opening up, right?
80 something.
80 something, mid 80s to, in that range. The development that's happened between then and now means that honestly, there's very little difference between those two.
Right.
And in some ways, the Eastern countries are doing better than some of the others. And the reason being is that when they threw off communism, they threw off a lot of the socialism, and they really embraced free market and capitalism. So they really soared. Maybe there was fewer regulations, and like Western Europe went the opposite way. Western Europe started moving into socialism.
Right.
And along with socialism comes more and more restrictions and
Poverty.
more rules and more codes, and all of that just tighten everything down and make everything difficult to do and whatnot. And it's like they went the opposite way. So there's really really an even playing field at least between those two areas, in my opinion. There's really not a hair's breadth of difference between them overall.
How would you think Portugal fits in there? Because it's different.
Portugal's different. It's very poor compared to Western Europe countries.
Well,
but
even to Croatia and Hungary and all of them.
I would say that it's pretty similar in most ways to the rest of them. I don't think it's that much different. The differences, European differences, are common to America. Like, America and Europe are very different from one another in a lot of just the ways we think and a lot of that. But when it comes to, say, the road systems, when it comes to the things we talked about with third world,
the interstates,
the
water,
the bathrooms, they're Western, their toilet seats are there.
Well, sometimes,
but for the most part, I mean, it's the exception, not the rule, right?
Right.
So that would be similar to the U.S. It would be consistent that way in the roads.
And they would have hot water.
In some cases, the roads are better than in the U.S.
True.
Like, for instance,
they
in
know
Germany,
how to use roundabouts, that's for sure. We
roundabouts
don't know
are
how
great.
to do that here.
Americans don't like them and don't because they don't understand them, I think. But they're great for a lot of reasons. But then the things that maybe would be different would be access to products. We in America have this, like, any product you can imagine is here.
Spoiled.
And in Europe, it's just simply not that way. So no matter what part of Europe you are, ironically, there's some countries that have more access. But I remember when we first started traveling, like, you could not get American style peanut butter in England.
No.
Peanut
Marshmallow
butter.
fluff? No.
No. Kool-Aid. You couldn't get Kool-Aid.
Mm-mm.
You couldn't get beef jerky.
Kool-Aid.
I said
Fritos.
Kool-Aid.
I didn't hear you say.
I said it twice.
Fritos. Sorry. Oreos.
Right.
All the junk.
Yeah, the good high chemical junk food with all the colors and preservatives.
Yes.
You couldn't get it.
Well, and
What's the deal with that?
That's really why a lot of that was banned, because of the food colorings and the different chemicals in the products. Much of Europe banned those products.
Right.
Because they're not good for you.
That's correct, actually. And so they're being changed in America now, too. They're stealing our autism.
But that's okay. So you mentioned that. You don't see a lot of, in third world countries, you don't see a lot of the people on medication for anxiety. You don't see people.
It's not nearly as prominent.
You do see
it is
some
present, but it's not nearly as prominent.
Mental retard, for lack of a better word. I don't know how to say it. Mental retardation. I don't know what the PC word is. But you do see
mental
that some.
handicaps.
Well, you do see that some, but some of that is just comes from poor nutrition, during pregnancy, things like that.
It's not like she's saying it like you're walking down the street seeing this all over. That's not the case at all.
It's very rare, but you do see it a tiny bit. Not like you do here, where you see it quite often. You see the autism, you see the, things like that here. And everybody's on some kind of mental therapy medication or something, but you don't see that in third world. Now you're starting to see it more in
you don't see it in the
world.
third world. You do see a lot of physical handicaps.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And you see some mental handicaps.
That's what I'm saying. Most of that's caused because of nutrition, lack of nutrition, and things like that, because they're poorer.
Also, you'll see a lot of handicaps that are because of lack of safety.
Yes, that's true.
But that would be more common.
But you see more now. When we first started traveling to Europe, you didn't see as much obesity. You didn't see.
They've changed
You
that.
didn't hear about people being on anxiety medications and things like that. Now you hear that more.
Yeah, it's more common now.
Yeah.
So those are just some distinctions there.
Yeah.
So when we think, though, of what do we miss from America when we visit, and this is true when we visit Europe, and this is true when we visit the third world.
What do we miss?
There are things about Europe we love. We do.
The cheese?
The cheese is fantastic.
The bread?
The food is great. The bread and cheese, if you ask missionary kids, that's the
Fruit?
top two things they miss. The two number one things they miss.
Yes.
The top
bread,
two.
cheese.
Bread and cheese. But also it's not just bread and cheese. The food generally is a very good quality. It's fresh. You don't go buy bread and have it in your house for 30 days and it still be usable.
Yeah.
It's fresh bread. Their eggs are on the counter. They don't refrigerate the eggs, which is not
Seems
a negative.
strange to us, but it's not.
It's not
negative.
strange.
Yeah.
It's just
most of the time they're not even washed.
No, they don't wash.
Which is a good thing.
It's got the
That's
film
what
on it.
protects
It's
them.
why they can sit on the counter. So there's a lot of that type of stuff that is different. That doesn't bother us at all, right?
You know what bothers us the most? The beef.
American beef is the best in the world. And I'm sorry if you're in another country and you think your beef is the best.
It's just not.
It's not. Argentina.
Always when we come back, the first thing we want is a good steak.
Yeah. Argentina, I would say of places we've not been to Australia, so I can't say about Australia.
That's true.
But Argentina would be second best.
It's the closest, yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good steak. I still think American steak beef is better. But that is a huge thing.
And the cuts of meat.
That's also a thing. Like, for instance, in Nicaragua, okay, you're going to get kind of a knuckle.
Macheted piece of meat.
Just a chunk. It's the same in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Now, chicken, that's if it's beef. If it's chicken, they parse it out similar to what we do.
Not all, but some.
Not all, but some. Quarters, generally.
Yeah,
you're getting a quarter, like a leg quarter or a breast quarter, breast and wing, The beef, though, they just don't, it's like they don't even know how to
slice and dice.
How to do a cut, like a normal, like what we think is normal.
Not even.
So if you're eating soup, if you're eating a beef stew, which we had a really good beef stew. This was in Nicaragua. It had taro root in it. It had some other roots. It had squashes,
potato, regular potato.
Yeah, yucca, like those corns that are not fully corn yet, whatever that is.
It was corn on the cob. Well,
there was
the baby
corn on the cob, and then there's a baby corn.
But they did have the corn on the cob, but the corn on the cob was not sweet corn.
No, it's not
like
sweet
what
corn.
We're
It's more
used
like
to.
grain corn. Yeah, maize corn. And then it would have this big chunk of bone.
Yes, with meat.
Like chopped. And when we look at that as an American, most Americans look and they're like, okay. And they just kind of avoid it in the bowl. When they look at that, they're like pulling it out and they're like gnawing on it all around and eating the collagen on it and the sinew and trying to.
Please, no noises, please.
That's third world versus first world. You lose your ability to gnaw on bones in the first world.
And I have to tell myself mentally, it's just meat. It's just meat. It's just meat.
The soup was delicious.
Don't look at the bone.
A lot more rice in the third world.
Yes, a lot more rice.
But the difference there, and even in Europe, I'd say the meat cuts are just
not the same.
They're not the same. The beef quality is not the same. So that is a huge difference. Other things we miss America into anywhere, virtually anywhere else. Variety of food. Pretty much where you go, it's like they have their food and very little else. They have their food and a McDonald's or a KFC or Burger King. Those are the three we see probably most common around the world.
KFC
right?
number one.
Yeah, KFC's number one.
Then
McDonald's and Burger King.
Sometimes
Pizza Hut or Taco Bell. Yeah. So we saw in Nicaragua, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell, and Carl's Jr., ironically.
Oh, yeah, there was a Carl's Jr. That's right.
Yeah. And were there any other American?
Was there a Papa John's?
There was a Papa John's. Yeah, there was a Papa John's. So, not too much.
But that was in the center of town.
In Managua.
Yeah.
And if you weren't wealthy, you couldn't eat there. We ate at McDonald's.
Yeah.
We ate at McDonald's, and I am not kidding you. I was stunned.
At the price?
The price was high. But the people coming in, they're driving into McDonald's, I mean, in sports cars. These are the wealthy people in Managua. They're coming in and they are dressed to the nines.
They are
They
maxed
are
out in their dress.
very
Yeah.
nicely dressed. This was an experience. And I'm
This was
thinking,
like date night.
it's McDonald's. And this was like the experience. And there was a Ronald McDonald sitting outside, so we got a picture with
yeah,
it.
we
so-
did. And the other thing that like I noticed, especially in McDonald's is very good about this. In other countries, they have their standard, Big Mac, whatever. But then they always adopt whatever
Something
the
local.
food from that. So like in the Philippines, you could get rice, you could get fried chicken,
Right.
that kind of stuff. In Nicaragua, they had rice. What else did they have? I didn't go up to the menu board, but I saw it on the window.
Well, they had Jamaica drink.
Oh yeah, the Jamaica drink. And then they usually, like here in the States, they don't have like a separate McCafe, where they have the
Yeah,
specialty
that's very
coffees
common
and the
in
ice creams.
Europe and
But
also
in
in Managua they had one,
yes,
yeah.
they have a whole separate
Counter where you do
where
the
you order.
McCafe.
And I'll just tell you, in Nicaragua, the ice cream with Oreos and caramel, it was good. He doesn't like dairy.
I didn't eat it.
But
Yeah.
I did, and it was good. Me and the preacher.
That's true.
It was so good.
So, okay, what is there anything else distinct about first, second, third world? I'm thinking, I mean, we've talked about.
Oh, bedding.
Okay, now that's something. If you go to here in the States, we have the bottom sheet, the top sheet, which you would go between, and then blankets, right?
Yes.
In
Sorry.
Europe, they don't have the top sheet. They have the bottom sheet and a comforter, duvet comforter, which it's hot. I can't handle
And
it.
it's got buttons, so like you pull
Honestly,
the insides in
if
and
I'm
out.
going to Europe, I carry my own sheet. I sleep in my pajamas and a sheet, and that's all. I can't sleep under a blanket. I don't know how in the world they do it.
Because it's super thick.
It's thick and hot, but everywhere in Europe, that's what you use. That's the only thing they have.
Yeah, because I tuck the sheets in.
I hate it. I love the third world because guess what you get? You get a sheet.
You get a sheet.
You get a bottom sheet and a top sheet, and that's it. You don't get blankets. You don't get any of that stuff. Just, it's perfect. It's exactly like I like it, but she hates it because no blanket.
I don't have a blanket.
So she has to take a little, like just a little personal.
Mattresses are completely different.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, very different.
They're very
firm. Yeah.
And usually not very thick. They're usually like, I don't know.
Firm foam.
Maybe
generally.
6 inches, maybe.
Yeah, firm foam.
Yeah.
And then that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so those
anyway.
are big differences. We're so spoiled.
Yeah. We are.
Let's see what else.
I can't think of anything else. I mean, overall that's the big stuff. One other thing about the third world is the smell. The sewer smell is very frequent. The sewers are not as good. And often they will separate the black water, gray water, and the gray water will run out in the ditches in front of in the streets.
I struggle with that.
So gray water would be your kitchen sink, your bathroom, shower, and sink, your dishwasher, if you had one, your washer, your clothes washer.
Black water is your toilet.
Yeah, black. So the only thing that would go in the sewer would often be the toilet water.
Yeah.
And everything else would run out. And sometimes it can be, have an odor
but
to
then
it.
there's some smells that I actually miss. So when we first landed in Nicaragua.
Not those smells.
No, not those. So when we landed in Nicaragua and we stepped out of the airport for the first time, it was like, most of the time in like third world, they burn their trash and things like that. So there's usually a heavy smoke smell, usually. And so as soon as we stepped out, I was like, oh yeah. I just like that. I don't know why, but just.
You like the smell of burning trash?
I do. And then the exhaust from the vehicles, because they don't care
Angela's
about that
got
kind
some
of stuff,
mental issues.
I'm probably because it reminds me of the Philippines, and I love the Philippines, and so it's like I can be at home here,
Praise the Lord.
Anyway,
but we are glad to be back home.
Yeah, we are. I do love my first world.
Yes, but we're getting ready to go from here to California next week. This weekend we get to be with Keith and Charity.
Yeah.
They're having their very first service in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we get to be there for their first services there. We're very excited about that. And then next week we fly out to California for a Hope conference and an emotional health conference. in Hanford, California, and then we drive down. We're going to go to Mexico and do a youth conference, and then fly back via Phoenix and actually preach there for Fairhaven Baptist out in Coolidge on our way back here, and then it's off on the road again with the fifth wheel. So we're pretty excited. We'll be back in a third world country, and also we'll be in Mexico. I was meaning California. Is that third world? Second world?
It's out of this world out
Out
there.
of this world.
But we're excited about the Mexico trip.
Tacos. I got to tell
Life-eating tacos.
the tacos in Baja, California, which is Mexico side.
Well, we've talked about the Baja tacos.
Brother, you gotta go. I'm talking to them out there. You gotta go. You gotta go eat. The fish tacos are just out. They're unbelievable. Smoked marlin tacos.
So, Brother Ponce, if you're listening, was it Tito's?
Tito's. Yeah, in Rosarito. So, all right. Well, we hope this has probably been one of those episodes where you're like, why are they just rambling?
Why am I wasting my time?
This was an episode for us, evidently. So, anyway, but we hope you got something out of it. We'll talk to you again.